here. Few more weeks here in summer. Few more weeks in our baseball summer series. It's going to end in a few weeks when the last game we talk about is going to be which just started the Little League World Series. We're talking about that. Or next week we're going to talk about our Dominican baseball teams for the Orioles. So we're going to go over that as well soon. But we're going to talk now about the team that used to be in the Baltimore Orioles organization, residing in Frederick. This is probably, for me personally, where I live nowadays, the shortest drive. The shortest drive. I would say that's the shortest drive. Either that or Hagerstown. The Frederick Keys. So the Frederick Keys are still going on, guys. Like those of you who are Oriole fans, and Ryan Mountcastle played for the Keys. They were in the Orioles organization. So the Keys are now an independent league, the draft league, the MLB draft league. So what is that? So in the first half of the draft league, for amateur draft eligible players, divisions 1, 2, and 3, NAIA, junior college, graduating senior levels play 35 games per team. So it's kind of 2 leagues, 2 seasons in with one whole season. That makes sense. So what they do is it's an opportunity from June to July to go ahead and have players that are draft eligible, that are going into the draft. So it gives the opportunity for MLB teams to kind of look at these guys that are just coming out of school, whoever, gives them an opportunity to be viewed. Sometimes you could sign them because it's independent. So it's a good vehicle for them to go ahead and look at that. Not sign them, but sign them once they become eligible. So keep that in mind. But it's a good vehicle. Now, what's going on now, we are in August. So from July to September, that side is for guys that have exhausted their amateur eligibility, right? So these guys are, for the most part, guys, there's a couple of junior college sophomores, but these are guys who have exhausted their amateur eligibility. So they receive housing, they receive a little meal money, travel, a little bit of weekly compensation. They play 45 games. So it's an opportunity for these guys that didn't get drafted for whatever reason. Give them a chance to play professionally, give them a chance to play with bat, give them a chance to go ahead and do that. So it is kind of, there are college leagues like this all over the country, believe it or not. So it's leagues that go ahead and they talk baseball and they have baseball to these towns like a Frederick. Like last time I went to a Keys game, I could tell you, for the towns, it's a good source of revenue for these small towns, good community event. I don't think it matters to a lot of people, frankly, in these towns that it's no longer an MLB affiliate. I think a lot of these things were able to keep going. And I think it's good to see that the Keys were able to keep going. Frederick Keys. Jack Jones is the manager, former Major League player. I remember actually watching Jack Jones at the Major League level. So he was pretty good. I was really excited. A couple of years ago, they had Joe Oliver as the manager. Joe Oliver was on one of my favorite teams, non-Orioles, the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. So I was excited about that. Brand new general manager, Slater Fuchs. Definitely, he just got the gig here in June, it looks like here. So definitely shout out to him getting the gig as the new Frederick Keys general manager. Couple pitchers. A lot of the pitchers are here. I don't think they have great pitching. I think a lot of these guys, you can kind of tell why. They're kind of not hard throwers. Gant Richards, 20 years old, played at Southwestern Illinois Community College. Not bad. I think I've seen him pitch. Kind of slow delivery, off-speed stuff. Christian Rodriguez, kind of the same. Right-hander. I think he's a little bit better, Christian Richardson. Christian Rodriguez. Off-speed stuff, kind of the same. I think he has a little bit more control. So I think the other guy needs to develop. Not quite in the top performers, but I think those guys have made the most starts. Tremaine Cobb from Troy. Fun to watch. I don't know if he's a major leaguer, but man, I'm telling you, he's a pleasure Fun guy to watch. 22 years old, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, hitting 338. Everything they told us not to do when we played Little League. He slings the bat. He's always jumping around. His enthusiasm comes through the screen every time I've seen it. So Tremaine Scott definitely as well. Defensively, I think he's pretty good. I think he's a good enough hitter though. He's kind of small. I think like they're listing him. I think that's not right. When I've seen him, like, no, he's 5, no way. He's kind of small. I think that's why he's not as seen as a major leaguer quite yet. So, but I definitely think the enthusiasm is outstanding with him. Elijah Johnson played at Towson. I lived about 10 minutes from Towson University. So definitely he's a guy that's local, familiar with the area. 356. He's definitely their leading hitter. I don't love him in the field from what I've seen. Decent enough in the field, but he definitely can hit. I don't know if he's a power hitter at any point, but I think he's definitely can hit. I think you can see it with the average too. He definitely can. Brian Hilton from Stetson, another local product, 20 years old, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs as well. I think probably he was the one I think with the most power. I think definitely could see a team picking him up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He's still kind of young there. Hunter Altonen from Utah, graduate student. Seen a lot of that in college baseball. A couple of grad students playing as well. 0 home runs, 15 RBIs, hitting 340. He's right in the middle of their lineup as well. He has played a little bit of first, but I've seen him catching here as well. Bradley Fuhr, I think I'm saying his name right. Bradley Fuhr, Presbyterian College, 22 years old, no home runs, lots of steals though, 10 stolen bases, very quick, good glove. I think his glove is pretty good. If he can get the bat to where it needs to be, I definitely think I could see him in the minors on a team as well. And I think the best pitcher this year has been out of the bullpen, Evan Yates, Cal State Fullerton product, 3-0, 1.27 ERA. I definitely could see him as a major league reliever. I don't think he's a starter in the major leagues, but I definitely think he has good crafty stuff as a right-hander. I definitely think I could see him get to like a Keegan Aiken or something like that in the majors. That wouldn't shock me if that was the case. So I definitely think he has a possible future. But definitely one thing about the Keys is the history. It's a long history of baseball in Frederick. So definitely check it out. If you haven't been down there, you still got a few more weeks to go ahead and check out a Keys game in the heart in Frederick, right off the highway there, 340. Like if you're coming from Virginia, 81. Definitely check that out. 70, right? Go right to 70 if you're coming from Baltimore. You can't miss. You go to 70 down all the way and check out a Keys game. So definitely check that out if you haven't done so already. There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little Orioles report. All right, Orioles report. All right, checking out the last of the game there before I finish the recording here. Orioles lose 2-4 against the Guardians. I think, though, it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Like, considering the circumstances, considering they had to rally back, look, playing 3 rookies right now in the lineup. So the fact that they were able to win those last 2 games, that wasn't bad at all. They did win tonight. Just saw the end of it. Jackson Holiday went yard again. Longest home run of the night, 400-plus home runs. Lost the first game as well. A lot of injuries. We're going to go over it, but yeah, good work by Jackson Holiday. Tony Taters, Anthony Santander hit 2 home runs in the game. Always good to get a win. Jackson Holiday's on a roll, man. He hit a home run again tonight. He's had 4. He's had 3 straight games with home runs. Holiday's been tremendous. Look, Eloy Jimenez can hit. I don't know whatever else you say about anything else. He can hit. There's no question about it. They definitely could use that right now. Um, with all the injuries that's going on. Gunner's been good. He wasn't so good in the game that we just had, but Gunner's been, I think, really good lately. He got a home run again. I think he's really, they've really needed it as well. Greg Soto's been lousy like so far. No other way to slice it. I think he will come around. I don't think he couldn't be as bad as what we've been seeing. Trevor Rogers, um, a little better in the late start. I just saw the game, the game when as much of the game I watched tonight, and I thought he was a little better, but not as good. Mullins, I think probably is on his way more and more when I see him as to a full time, but a more of a part time role going forward. Interesting to see what happens with Cedric. Cedric's still good defensively, but him at the plate, I mean, he's just definitely I don't see a lot of Cedric from the plate, unfortunately, as well. A little late, but I don't think we got this last week. Jackson Holiday, obviously promoted, and he's been on a roll, promoted from AAA Norfolk. That happened Wednesday of last week. So we got him there. Jackson's been tremendous. Tremendous. This guy, I kind of see, I think a lot of fans are seeing it for the first time. I'm a little really impressed with how his power is holding up with his size, because he's not a big guy. But saw him as a leadoff hitter, whatever. But he really had good power numbers all through the minors, so very good as well. Called up Kobe Mayo, and infielder Levon Soto was optioned to AAA to open up a spot on active roster. There's been a lot of movement. Mayo, I don't have on the struggle list. Even though he hasn't got his first hit yet, because it's his first week, I'm not going to do that. Like to a guy who just showed up in the majors, never played in the majors before. So we will see about that. Jordan Westberg, Westy, suffered a fractured right hand when he was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning last week. So he's out for about 2 months. They're saying there a lot of them. What I'm hearing, that they don't think they're going to have Westy for the rest of the regular season. Maybe in September you'll have him. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think this is why you have a Kobe Mayo up. That's a pretty big loss. Westberg. Westberg, I think, is probably one of the most underrated players. Westberg, I think, with the defensive issues we kind of had lately, he was the one guy who was really consistent defensively, good at the plate. Yeah, that stings good. But it's not just him, unfortunately. There's a lot of these. Christian Pache was designated for assignment. They optioned Heston Kjerstad to AAA Norfolk, and the Marlins claimed Pache off waivers from the Orioles. I think he played one game with the Orioles. More Kjerstad news here as we keep going. G-Rod, that is short for Grayson Rodriguez, had lat teres discomfort. James McCann also had a successful nasal surgery realignment in Baltimore, performed with Dr. Catherine Day. So Rodriguez is going to be on the DL for IL for a while, at least 15 games, retroactive to the 4th, I think it is. He went through McCann. I don't think he's DL'd. I think he just had the surgery and he's been playing through it. As well, put the mask on, had the surgery, and I don't think he's DL, even though he had surgery as well. So interesting to see there what's going on. Orioles announced Thursday morning that Orioles announced that first round pick Vance Honeycutt is going to take a $4 million bonus. So they have actually signed now all of their draft picks. So that's good. Vance Honeycutt upside is unbelievable for Vance Honeycutt. So there's no question about if this guy has the goods. He definitely does. I think the power is there. The defense is absolutely there. I don't think now, with all the moves that are afoot, with Hayes gone, Santander possibly gone after this season, Mullins with a lesser role, all of a sudden now, going in 2025, you have openings maybe in the outfield, and so it's not possible. It's not impossible that Advanced Honeycutt could actually move up quickly. Heston Kjerstad, we talked about. Oh, here we go. Heston Kjerstad, we talked about. He went down. He went back up apparently, and he's got placed on the 10-day DL, retro to August 1st with a concussion. So in that sense, Keegan Aiken was recalled. Who he keeps going up and down. I cannot keep up with Keegan Aiken as well. They need it. I mean, these injuries are just unbelievable. Brian Baker recalled for AAA Norfolk. Jacob Webb placed on the 15-day DL with right shoulder inflammation. Man, so you could argue your best starter, one of your best starters, Grayson Rodriguez, and your best reliever all year long, Jacob Webb, on DL. So, man, J.D. Davis was signed to a minor league deal. J.D. Davis spent some time, I believe it was the Giants he played. So he was out there. We will see. I think he's going to play in Norfolk here as well. This week, Tampa Bay Rays and the Washington Nationals. All the selling that the Rays have done, they're still above 500. Interesting. Like, they got rid of Zach Eflin. They got rid of Diaz. They got rid of Rosarino. They got rid of a lot of guys, and they're still above 500. They're still actually in the wild card hunt. So interesting to see. Always good to beat the Nats up here, Virginia. Always good to beat down the Nats. The Nats, I would say, are definitely on the way up. I think probably in 2025 they'll be a good team. They could sneak into the playoff. I don't think it's out of the realm. If I was to do a tiers, they would do that. And where would we be without Corbin Burns? Please, let's not get rid of Corbin Burns. He has easily been, I think, the most consistent. Or I think his last start, finally wasn't his worst start. But I think Burns, I'm going to put him as a player week, especially considering all the injuries we've had.